How's it going today, guys? So today we're going to be talking about how to become a teen entrepreneur. So one of the biggest misconceptions out there is that you have to be an adult in order to start your own business or be an entrepreneur. And I want to dispel that myth right now. Imagine for a second being a millionaire before you reach the legal drinking age in the United States. While most teenagers waste their time working entry-level jobs at fast food restaurants, you could be building a legitimate business and you could become a millionaire before you're even 21 years old, even sooner if you're super ambitious and you have one great idea. The truth is, there is no minimum age out there in order to be an entrepreneur. Anyone can do this, ranging from the age of 10 years old to 90 years old. It doesn't matter. Anyone can become an entrepreneur at any age, and for some reason, this was something I didn't believe myself. When I was a teenager, I didn't think I could be an entrepreneur. Now, if there's one thing I wish I could do, and this is something everyone says, what I wish I could do is I wish I could go back in time and start what I'm doing now many years ago. Maybe I wouldn't be doing financial videos or entrepreneur-related videos, but I wish I just did something entrepreneurial, because I always knew I wanted to do this. Ever since I was a kid, since I was 12 years old with my lawnmower business, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but for whatever reason, and we're going to go over these reasons right here, I decided not to do that. So one example of a teenage entrepreneur is Sean Belnick. When he was 16 years old, he started an e-commerce site and began selling trading cards online. By the time he was 20 years old, his e-commerce business was worth $24 million. So he was a multi-millionaire before he even reached the legal drinking age. Then we have Nick D'Aloisio. When he was 17 years old, he developed an app called Sumly. Yahoo later purchased that app for $30 million. There's another teen entrepreneur who became a millionaire before he was even 21 years old. This is the limiting belief out there that you have to be an adult in order to be an entrepreneur, and it is completely false. Now, if you're someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, if you're a teenager and you want to be like them, these are the 7 things I recommend you do, and many of these things are things I did not do myself, and that's why I want to share these things with you, because I waited until I was in my 20s before I became an entrepreneur. So the number one mistake teen entrepreneurs make is asking for permission. I don't blame you for doing this. We go to adults for advice, we go to adults for guidance, and really it makes sense that we would go and ask them about an entrepreneurial idea. Maybe we have a business idea, maybe you want to start something on the side, maybe you want to develop your own app. Typically, the first thing we do is go ask an adult or go ask our parents for permission. What I want you guys to understand is you don't have to ask anyone for permission to be an entrepreneur. This is your dream. There's no reason to ask anyone out there for permission to become an entrepreneur. Now, here's the thing about parents and adults. Parents and adults give us a lot of good advice, but they also give us a lot of bad advice. And ultimately what I find is your parents are going to want you to go down the path of least resistance. They don't want you to take a risk. They want a very safe life for you. They want a very normal life for you. And you may be somebody who is okay with that. Maybe you do want a normal and safe life. But if you're somebody who's watching this video, my guess is you're looking for something else out of life. And if that's the case, unless your parents are business owners, unless your parents are entrepreneurs themselves, you shouldn't follow the advice of your parents. That's the mistake I made. Like I said, I knew since I was 12 years old that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But for whatever reason, I followed the advice of my parents and I felt the need to ask for permission. And as a result, I went to school for something that was smart and got a degree and got a job. And 2 years later, I absolutely hated my life. Luckily, at that point, I made the decision to pursue YouTube full-time, my entrepreneurial pursuit. But I knew since I was 12 years old that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wasted a lot of time by simply following the advice of my parents and asking for permission to be an entrepreneur. The third thing you need to do is avoid following your friends, because the truth is most people out there are not going to be an entrepreneur. Most people are going to go to college, get a job, and work and build someone else's dream. If you want to live like the 1% do, you can't act like the 99% do. You can't follow those 99% of people who are going to follow the herd. So if you are doing everything your friends are doing, if you're partying on the weekends, if you're lazy, if you're playing video games, this is going to make you be like most people. And most people get a job. Most people have a pretty average life. If you want something more out of life, you can't follow what your friends are doing. The fourth thing you need to do is reprogram your mind. You need to program your mind for success, because the truth is, it's hard for us to believe that anything else out there is possible because we've never seen it. So most of what's taught in school is the stepping stones in order to go out there and go to college and eventually get a job. Unfortunately, very few schools have classes on being an entrepreneur, and most teenagers out there don't know a lot of business owners, they don't know millionaires, so you have nobody to follow for your path to success. So the biggest thing that you guys need to do is start reprogramming your mind for success. You need to start studying successful entrepreneurs. You need to start reading books on personal development, listening to podcasts, just filling your brain with information and learning as much as possible. Because unfortunately, everything you're learning right now is gearing you towards a very average life where you get a job and you work, and it's a very safe but very boring life for most people. And I'm guessing you want more out of life. The fifth thing I recommend you do is treating your life like a science experiment. And what I mean by this is, if you're someone out there who doesn't know what you want to do, maybe you know you want to have your own business, maybe you know you want to follow your own dream, but you're not quite sure what you want to do. And I don't blame you because you're young, you're a teenager. What I recommend doing is trying as many things as possible and treating your life like an experiment. So say yes to everything. If people ask you to go dance somewhere, if people ask you if you want to go travel, say yes to whatever comes your way. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. But if you do like it, maybe that's something you want to do with your life. Maybe you're going to find your passion and your calling in life. But if you don't know what you want to do in life, do as many things as possible, as quickly as possible, to figure out what it is that really interests you in life. The sixth thing is very similar to following your friends. This is called your circle of influence. And the good thing is, these don't have to be people that you actually have a relationship with in real life. You can follow people online, you can follow mentors, and you can follow millionaires online and see the things they're doing and learn from them. And I would develop a circle of influence where you follow the habits of very successful people. And if you do know people in your own life that are successful business owners or millionaires, or anybody that has what you desire to have, try to include them in your circle of influence and follow the things that they are doing. As a result, this is the proximity effect, where you're going to become the sixth version of the 5 people you hang around with. So if you hang out with a bunch of rich people and millionaires and business owners and successful entrepreneurs, you're very likely to become the 6th one of them. Now, the 7th and final thing I recommend is seeking venture capital. And I know this may sound kind of scary, especially because you're young. You're just a teenager. You're worried that nobody's going to take you seriously. But here's the thing. There are a lot of people out there who have a lot of money and they're looking to do something with that money. Venture capital is when people will invest money in what is considered to be a high-risk investment. It is an investment in someone's idea or a business idea, and they're going to give you the capital to actually launch this business. Now, there are actually investment clubs out there that you can find. Maybe there's not one in your immediate area, but I'm sure there is someone in your area that has some type of investment club where you can go pitch your idea to venture capitalists, people who are looking to invest in an idea on the ground floor. So if you guys really have a big idea, if you have something that you know is a fantastic idea, and maybe you don't have the money to actually do it yourself, I highly recommend pitching your idea to some venture capitalist club and trying to raise funding for your business. Because at the end of the day, what is the worst that could happen? What's the worst thing that could happen? Maybe they say no and you learn something from the experience. But on the chance they say yes, you may be on your way to success. I want you to just think about this video and think about the points I mentioned here. And if you want to do something, don't ever ask anyone for permission. Just go out there and do it. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing to be notified of any future uploads. And as always, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video.